I facilitate payroll for a local government municipality. We employ a diverse group of people. They vary in ages, they vary in ethnic backgrounds, and sometimes a seasoned employee who has been employed before is familiar with certain payroll terms, while the individual who is younger and has not experienced being on a payroll, sometimes the terms that we use have to be adjusted to ensure that everyone understands the process and what's needed from the employee to ensure that payroll runs smoothly. Sometimes, yes. We have a few workers who are hearing impaired, and sometimes we have to, communications that would otherwise be verbal, we have to make sure that there's a written version of that communication available to those employees, so that the communication is equal despite what a person's circumstance may be as far as language is concerned. I really don't intend to, but I will admit that when I find myself addressing my boss, it does tend to seem to be more formal than addressing one of my peers or some of the subordinate employees. And I don't think it's because of a certain way of communication. I think it's just a means of respect for the person that I report to. So yeah, my tone is probably different with her than it would be for one of my own peers on my team. The most difficult tool probably was the mobile application that's now available to all the employees in the organization that I work for. It was most difficult because it was promoted as the preferred method of communication, and a lot of individuals either do not like to communicate via text message or through the mobile app. They'd rather talk in person, and some individuals do not even have a mobile phone, so it makes delivering those communications even more difficult. So that's one of the issues that we face. Communication barriers can include a person not understanding the communication that was presented to them, whether it was a memo, voicemail message. If the voicemail message was garbled or not audible to them, then they wouldn't understand completely what the message was intended to mean. That's an example. One that comes to mind is when I was going through an emotional period where I had lost a loved one, and communication was difficult for me during that time because of the just range of emotions that I was feeling, and I was trying to deliberately not express those feelings to others that I work with. So my suppression of my true emotion was making it more difficult for me to communicate with others during that period. Most likely, I would have to go with information overload. In operating a governmental organization, there's so much communication that exists that you may not even have a chance to review. So there are things that are obvious to you as an employee or to someone who's facilitating payroll in my instance, but there are so many things that are written law, written rules that you just do not get a chance to addressed on a regular basis unless you specifically go seeking out those rules. So that's my example. I think they are more difficult to avoid because as an effective leader, you want to make sure that there is no stone that you left unturned and that you've provided your employees with all of the information that they need to be successful in their role or to be successful with whatever topic is at hand. So I would have to say that it is more difficult as a leader.